This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, Hazleton's fire chief reflects on September 11, 2001. Join us as we remember together. Good evening and thank you for joining us at FYI. I'm Ken Carr and I appreciate you watching on SSPTV and SSPTV.com. It's been 14 years since the horrific attacks on our country. Today, on this Patriot Day, our Lisa Sugart talked with Hazleton Fire Chief about why it is so important that Americans never forget.
It is a day America will never forget, the horrific attacks of September 11, 2001. I'm pleased to welcome Hazleton Fire Chief Donald Leschko here with us today. Chief, I know this is a special day for all members of the fire service. It's a brotherhood. And what were you doing 14 years ago today?
Actually, 14 years ago today, I was working in the fire department. I was assigned to Engine 2 in the city, and at that time, they were doing work on Church Street, so we were transferred. They moved me out of the Diamond Station on Church Street to the East End Station at that time because we didn't have the South Side Station wasn't even existent yet. And we were stationed there for the day and got a phone call roughly about after 9 stating, you know, put the TV on. There was a plane struck the World Trade Center. And that morning, I was working with actually firefighter Al Miller and Deputy Chief Bob Dorneman. And we put the TV on, and what we saw, your heart just sunk, you know, not knowing what happened. And then as we were watching the events unfold, seeing, you know, I'll be honest with you, we were watching it and seeing the other plane strike the other tower. We thought they were showing video from an earlier part of that, but not knowing that the other tower was struck. And just seeing the other tower struck, it just, you know, you were in complete awe. You know, at that time, you knew what was happening in our country was really an undetermined, unknown what incident was going on. And then, you know, that's where it came out that it was a terrorist attack, and we were, you know, our whole country was under attack.
Now, 14 years later, how important is it that we don't forget what happened that day?
It's very important. It's 14 years later, and I mean, I've heard it from people say it happened 14 years ago, it's time to let it go, and you can't. You know, I saw this week the City of New York and the fire department added 14 more names to their memorial wall from people that are still line of duty deaths from that incident. You never want to forget those brothers. You never want to forget the brothers we lost, anybody that was lost on that day. It's just something we can never forget about. This is, you know, the age of, you know, most of us remember this is something that will always be in our hearts, in our minds, and we'll never forget. And to go on to this day, you want to always remember that we never forget them. That their families are grieving still today. They're still, you know, our brothers in the fire service are grieving. And it's just something we can't, as a country, ever forget. It's something, I think, after 9/11, our country banded together. There was a lot of patriotism. There was a lot of support for firefighters, police officers, EMS workers. And it was just a sense of community. It was a sense of you know, freedom, a sense of, you know, what our country is about. And I think we need to come back to that. I think we need to show that again and show that our country is about the, you know, the red, white, and blue. That our country is about freedom. Our country is about living every day to live for the next day and live the American dream that we all achieve every day.
Well, you said it. It was the worst of times, but it brought out the best in people. And you made a lot of friends because of that. And as a matter of fact, you talked with one of those earlier today.
Yeah, I did. Last year, you know, it's how things happen is that we had a fire truck down at KME fire apparatus getting repaired, and I got introduced to Lieutenant Bob Sarno from the FDNY. Today they have a major order of fire apparatus being built at KME, and he works in Engine 283 in Brooklyn. I spoke to him this morning. He's on duty today. He's working a 24-hour shift, and just to let him know, you know, he's in our thoughts and prayers. I speak to him probably, you know, every 2 weeks. I got to go up a few months ago. We got to go up and visit, and we got to go see the 9/11 memorial, and that's a very tough and emotional thing. I do encourage anyone that has not gone and seen it. I think it's definitely a very heartfelt thing, but it's also a part of remembrance. And going in there, it definitely gives you, I will say this, it brings you to chills. It brings you to terms of what happened that day and how it was done, but it's also showing a remembrance that you go in that room and you see the faces. You see the faces of not only our firefighters, you see the faces of the individuals that were lost that day, the moms, the dads, the business worker, you know, the airline pilots, you know, everybody was taken from us that day. It just gives you a sense of that you're never going to forget them, and you always want to make sure that they're never forgotten.
Absolutely. And with that in mind, tonight at 7 o'clock at Holy Rosary Church in Hazleton, the City of Hazleton and the Hazleton Fire Department again will be presenting a special memorial, and you want everyone watching right now to be there tonight at 7.
Yeah, we encourage all the residents to come out. All the residents of the Hazleton area to come out, help us this evening at 7 p.m. as we remember those that were taken from us on this tragic day 14 years ago, and show also that they are not forgotten, but also to show the true patriotism of our residents, to show that we are a country of one, that we are a country of the free, and that we're a country of the brave, and that we will stand up against anyone that tries to attack our country. And most of all, to show support and to show that we are not ever going to forget those taken from us. Like I said, this is going to be a beautiful event tonight. On Monday, I get to go speak to the children of Holy Family Academy. A lot of those children were not even born when this event happened. So, you want our children of today to learn. Just as I did learning about the wars growing up, you want our children to learn and know what happened, but you also want our children to be part of never forgetting those that were taken from us on this tragic day.
Chief, thanks you so much for spending time with us on this important day. Again, tonight at 7 o'clock at Holy Rosary Church. We hope everyone will be there.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you to Chief Leshko for sharing with us. And now here's our FYI Standard Speaker headlines. Well, it's finally here. FunFest Homecoming 2015 is tomorrow and Sunday in downtown Hazleton.
We're going to go on Saturday from 12 to 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then again we're going to come back on Sunday from 12 to 6 p.m. So our hours are a little different. Our footprint, we're calling it right size. We're going to leave Church Street, Route 309 will be open except for as the parade passes through, our police will stop and halt at different points. But through the remainder of the weekend, Route 309 will be open, and so will Cedar Street. So that folks, they can get around town, more importantly, find the best parking spot to come downtown to have all of those activities either on Saturday or Sunday.
I used to buy one of those invisible dogs on a leash every year at FunFest. I wonder if they still have them. Well, FunFest features more than just that. Great food, crafts, games, entertainment, contests, and so much more. And of course, the FunFest Parade. It starts at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday. For a complete schedule of all FunFest activities, go to funfestpa.org. Hazleton firefighters responded to Boyer's Supermarket on 15th Street around 4:45 this morning. Chief Donald Leshko says a faulty light fixture caused the fire in a display case. While the fire was contained to the case, there was smoke damage to the building. The Department of Agriculture was expected to inspect the store prior to reopening. 7 people are homeless after fire struck an apartment building in Tamaqua. The call came in around midnight on Wednesday. Residents made it out safely. One firefighter had to be treated for fire exhaustion and dehydration. This Sunday, you're invited to bring your tractor to church. The event at Christ United Church in Cunningham will feature a pancake and sausage breakfast from 8 to 10 a.m., followed by a special harvest home service at 10:15 and a coffee social after. There will also be a bake sale and a yard sale, all in an effort to raise much needed funds for a new roof and parking lot repairs. Coming up next, an energetic dog and a laid-back cat. Chris Barkanik has Adopt Me from the Hazleton Animal Shelter, and later we'll get you ready for kickoff of Week 2 of high school football with our second Football Friday feature.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Why choose Sand Springs for your next party or function? We're here with Stacy each and every Friday on FYI, and we're really giving you some great information on narrowing down why you should choose Sand Springs for your next party, especially if it's a wedding, because you really have it narrowed down here.
We do. We do a lot of events here between weddings, rehearsal dinners, graduation parties, engagement parties. There's so many different things. And at Sand Springs, one of the things that sets us apart is the fabulous linen provider that we work with. we can arrange to have everything done right here, which makes it so much easier for the bride and groom or the host of the party.
You work with many, many brides throughout the year, but for me personally, I think the linens really set the mood of a room like Celebrations. When you walk into that room, that's that wow factor, and you can really make this room your own by looking at the different kinds of quality in linens, the different colors, and the different ways that you can set up the linens here in Celebrations.
Absolutely. We have a neutral room here, which is very nice. It allows you to do what you want and show your style in any way. And the big way that brides and grooms do that is through their linens. Whether they want to change the chair out for the all-popular Chiavari chair, if they want to do floor-length linens, table runners, chair covers, there are so many options. But when you walk in, that's what your guests see first. That's what they notice right away, are the colors that are in the room. And a lot of that comes through the linens.
And as you can see through the photos that we're showing, each wedding really looks different. There are no two weddings here that I've seen that looked like a cookie cutter wedding or that looked alike.
Absolutely. Every wedding is so unique, and the design of it is unique through the setup and the type of linens that they use.
All right, so you can get information on what kind of linens as you work with a great provider of different qualities and styles of linens. Here we're at Celebrations at Sand Springs. Why choose this venue for your next party? Each week here on FYI on Fridays.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
It was a great day, and it's looking like a nice night for the 9/11 Memorial in Hazleton and the football games around the region. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, partly cloudy. Our low will be 58 degrees. On Saturday, the storms may move in. 60% chance of showers between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. and then rain is likely after 4 p.m. Our high will be 72 degrees. New precipitation amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch possible. On Saturday night, 80% chance of rain, mainly between midnight and 2 a.m. Low around 54 degrees. On Sunday, 40% chance of showers. High will be 65 at night. 30% chance of showers, partly cloudy. Low of 48 degrees. We start out sunny next week. Monday will be sunny with a high near 64. Monday night, mostly clear. We get down into the 40s. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 72. And then on Tuesday night, mostly clear with a low of 51 degrees.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazleton. Treat yourself today.
Midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers are now up on your screen. Pick 2, 79, pick 3, 086, pick 4, 1169, and pick 5, 60627. Lottery numbers on FYI brought to you by Boyer Insurance Agency with 2 locations to serve you, one in Cunningham on Sugarloaf Avenue, the other one on Broad Street in Nescapec. You can call Boyer Insurance in Cunningham at 570-788-3543 and in Nescapec at 570-752-7683. Hey, tonight, 9 p.m., all new Girls episode. It's the second part of the girls' interview with the Reverend Robin Marie. Right now, it's time for Adopt Me on FYI.
Hello again. Here we have Bernie. Bernie is a young adult, probably about a year to a year and a half old. Bernie is a Bernese Mountain Dog mix and possibly has German Shepherd in him as well. Like all of our dogs, he is already neutered, up to date on his vaccines, and has been tested for heartworm and Lyme and come up negative. Bernie has a lot of energy, so we recommend long daily walks and a large fenced-in yard. We're not sure what he's like with other dogs, but as always, we recommend you bring your own down so we can see how the two of them get along before you take him home. Because of his size and energy level, we recommend more experienced dog owners for Bernie here. He's very friendly and loving, but might be a bit of a challenge for first-time pet owners. That's it for today's dog. Let's have a look at our cats. And here I have Magellan. Magellan is a domestic medium hair, probably a Persian mix. He's a young adult, maybe about a year or two old. And like all our cats, he is neutered, tested for feline leukemia and FIV, and came up negative for both. He is also fully vaccinated against rabies and feline distemper. Magellan is very vocal and very affectionate. He purrs constantly and loves to be held. We're not sure what he's like with other cats, but Magellan can be seen in our female colony right up here in the front of the shelter. So if anyone at home is interested in Magellan here or our dog Bernie, please come on down to the Hazelton Animal Shelter at 101 North Poplar Street.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
There are certain athletes that are walking highlight reels. Well, in most cases, running highlight reels. Marion's KJ Snurr is one of those athletes, and when he's on the football field, you won't want to blink. However, here's the problem. He plays offense, defense, and he recently started punting. Here's our intern, John Eric Polai, with more.
KJ Snurr is a do-it-all player for Marion Catholic. Snurr is the Colts' starting running back and has rushed for over 2,000 yards in his high school career. He is also a returning starter for the Marion Catholic defense as one of the team's linebackers. In 2015, Snurr is taking on another role. He is now the team's punter due to an injury, and he knows that his new position is just as important as his other two.
If you can punt, and you can punt well, that's huge for you. You can go to college, full ride scholarships just to punt. That's incredible. But it's really a change of pace and a momentum shifter if you can pin somebody down deep in their own territory.
Having a player like Snurr is a coach's dream, and Marion Catholic head coach Stan DeCosti loves having a versatile player like Snurr.
You get an athlete, then you could use him like you said, a receiver. You could use him. He's played some quarterback for us. He is our tailback. He punts for us, returns kickoffs. So he's got multitask as far as the football game is concerned.
KJ Snurr might be the complete package on the football field. He runs, kicks, passes, but it's what he does outside of the football field that is really impressive. When Snurr isn't running all over the field, he's helping out his school and his community. He's involved in numerous clubs and organizations, as well as being a standout student.
I play baseball, I'm a catcher, and I'm involved in Green Club. I'm going to be a Eucharistic minister this year. I do a lot of boys basketball for our other activities that we have during school. I'm also in Hope for All, which is taking care of the community, different things like that, like giving the poor, the sick, things that they need.
Well, I had him in class last year. He's a solid student. He works hard. He's well respected in school. He walks the halls. It's not like he's the star tailback type person. He's just one of the guys hanging out with everybody, and he comes from a good family background. I think that plays into it.
Once KJ Snurr graduates high school in June, he plans on attending college and playing football for the school that he chooses. For FYI Sports, I'm John Eric Polai.
Thanks, John. Snurr and the Colts are trying to stay on top of the FYI Cole Scale rankings. I'm sure that's their top concern going into Friday night's game. Marion is on the road for a second straight week. They play at Panther Valley. The Panthers lost in week 1. The Cougars have their home opener against Scranton as they look to build on their momentum from last week. All of the football gurus at the Standard Speaker picked the Big HA to get the win tonight. We'll see if Brennan's bunch can make it 2 straight. After a hard-fought win at Tamaqua last week, there's no let-up for North Schuylkill as they host the talented Blue Mountain team, and both Monoy area and Shenandoah Valley are at home. The Golden Bears play Schuylkill Haven, and the 4-6-2 crew is up against Jim Thorpe. Now to the FYI Standard Speaker scoreboard. The Lady Cougar field hockey team fell to 1-1 in the Wyoming Valley Conference as they took a loss to unbeaten Coughlin. Monoy area and Marion picked up girls volleyball wins, and in other girls volleyball action, Weatherly beat Shenandoah and Pottsville topped Tamaqua. And our final girls volleyball score, Wyoming area beat MMI. The Preppers, they got a win in golf over Wyoming area. George Palermo had a 45 for MMI. Shenandoah Valley was swept in cross country, and the Rail Riders, they come home to Music 1 game away from elimination in the playoffs after another loss to Indianapolis on Thursday. All right, who's ready for Ron Marchetti? Well, ready or not, here he comes.
Friday, 9/11, 14 years after. Hi everybody, and welcome to Short Shots on this Fun Fest weekend. Last Friday, Hazelton area upset Coughlin and Wilkes-Barre 22-20 in a very exciting and entertaining football game opener. Adrian Otero ran for 107 tough yards with 1 touchdown on offense and 1 on defense after a 34-yard return of an interception. He also intercepted another pass on his own 1-yard line to save an opponent's score. Quite a night for the sophomore tailback. Coughlin was ranked number 2 in Channel 16's Top 16. Tristan Williams kicked a 40-yard field goal to open this year's scoring. Carson Kinney also rushed for 79 yards, a very impressive victory for the Cougars, who will entertain Scranton tonight at Harmon Guys. Scranton lost to Dallas last Friday 13-7. The Cougars are 1-0, and I love their chances tonight. Marian Catholic walloped Williams Valley 35-7 in their opener in Williamstown. KJ Schnurr scored 3 TDs, and quarterback Ethan Kuznetsky threw for 2 and ran for 1 for the Colts' other scores. Other scores of interest: Berwick beat Crestwood 34-14, and North Schuylkill defeated Tamaulipas 20-14. What else? The Eagles traded quarterback Matt Barkley of USC fame to the Arizona Cardinals to make room on their roster for Tim Tebow. But then the very next day, they released Tebow. So right now, the Eagles have only 2 quarterbacks on their roster, Sam Bradford and Mark Sanchez. A good fit for number 3 quarterback would be RG3, and that's not a joke. On Saturday, a record crowd of over 69,000 showed up at the Link in Philly. It was only the Owls' second sellout since the stadium opened in 2003. The last time Penn State lost to Temple was in 1941, 74 years ago. Joe Paterno was 14. Mother of God! The Owls gave the Nittany Lions an old-fashioned spanking 27-10, if not one of the most humiliating defeats in Penn State's football history. Notre Dame rolled over Texas 38-3 in South Bend. And number 1 Ohio State trailed at half, but came back from behind to rout Virginia Tech on the road again, 42-24. Jake Arrieta of the Cubs became the first Major League pitcher to win 18 games this season. Is it possible that the big leagues will not produce one 20-game winner this year? Yes, it is. Maybe only one. Arrieta. Penn State is at home tomorrow against Buffalo. ND is at Virginia. The Hazelton Area Sports Hall of Fame induction banquet will be on Sunday at 3 p.m. at Genesee, and so will the Fun Fest Parade. Enjoy either or. Have a good one. Till Monday, be a good sport and stay loose.
Be happy, it's Friday, and go to Bottlenecks for half-price happy hour starting at 6 p.m. They have live music and half-price appetizers.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, St. Peter and Paul Lutheran Church on Alter Street in Hazleton will be holding a Tricky Tray fundraiser Saturday, September 12th. Doors open at 1 and the event begins at 2. Next announcement, Hazleton Public Transit is announcing that due to FunFest activities, Saturday, September 12th, routes 40, 50, 60, 80, and 10 will use Vine to Diamond and continue from there. Route 20 will use Chestnut to Poplar to Broad. Also, there will be no service on Sunday, September 13th. Our next announcement, Holy Trinity Orthodox Church, South Kennedy Drive in McAdoo will be having a free meal Saturday, September 12th from noon to 2 p.m. And finally, the American Red Cross will be having a disaster services orientation and overview on Tuesday, September 15th at the Wyoming Valley Red Cross office in Wilkes-Barre. A free barbecue will be held at 5 p.m. and then learn about how you can begin your Red Cross volunteer career and meet Director Bill Goldsworthy. For info, check out redcross.org. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Joseph R. Koval Jr. of Hazleton. Funeral is Monday at 9:30 a.m. from the Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 7 to 9. Joan M. McGettigan of Hazel Township. Arrangements will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Geraldine Kroll of Hazleton. The McHugh Wilczek Funeral Home will announce complete arrangements. Stephen D. Blashak of Williamsport. Memorial is September 19th at 9:30 a.m. in the Christ Lutheran Church in Hazleton. And finally, Perla Porcel of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Turnbach Funeral Home. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now on News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is Cassie Allen of Lavelle. Cassie, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-455-7267, extension 104.
It's a busy weekend around the Hazleton area. Have fun, be safe. Thank a firefighter, police officer, EMT service member. Thank them for their service. We'll see you back here on Monday. Take it easy, everyone.